We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened in the Archers so far this week. We will be covering Sunday the 12th of May, Monday the 13th, and Tuesday the 14th of May. There will be spoilers. You have been warned. Well, Lauren, Alice is done. Are we done? What do you think of the week so far? What do you think of tonight's episode?
I'm as despondent as Alice, I think, over... It's very hard, isn't it, to feel this frustration for someone who is suffering an illness and who is very unwell, but her level of disregard for the people around her is really upsetting me. And I feel like I heard a good quote. And it was about mental illness, but I think it can apply here. And it's that mental illness is not an excuse for bad behaviour; it's an explanation. And I feel like, I understand. It's deep, and I get that. But Alice is preempting stuff that hasn't even happened, and saying, "I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be doing that," and everyone's running around after her and trying to look after her, and she's just sort of sat there wallowing, saying, "Your mess of a sister, it won't work. I killed Fallon's baby." Just like really indulging in this. I don't even want to say it. How do you feel about it?
It's difficult because even before she spoke to Lisa, I felt that she wasn't ready to go to rehab or trying to deal with it. She's still sort of wallowing in it, and that's the wrong word to use.
Well, but I use that word. I used indulging.
She's fixated on the fact that she's killed Fallon's baby, but also she's going on the basis of Harrison's reaction and how angry he was with her last week. I think the problem at the moment is Alice is in such depths of despair that she's having to drink to deal with that. But by drinking, she's still in the depths of despair. So it's sort of this self-perpetuating cycle. But I thought, I mean, the acting is phenomenal. The minute you heard Adam come back in for his sandwiches, and you
so many sandwiches.
Yes. Oh my goodness, the food this week. Yeah, we'll come on to that. But just you could tell from the cut of her jib, the voice change. It was excellent. That she'd been drinking.
It's just hard, and I felt like even her sponsor was exasperated with her. Like I could feel that exasperation, but I'm struggling. And I know this was Sunday's episode, so it doesn't necessarily... I know this was Friday's episode, so it doesn't pertain to this. But when Fallon was speaking to Alice and saying, what I want, Alice, as a friend, is for you to just get your act together. And I was like, finally, someone is saying... Because Kate had sort of said similar things last week, but Fallon really, got it on the nose, I think. And would Harrison blowing up have made any difference? I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel...
In a way, it's an easy excuse for her to keep dwelling.
Yeah.
But he reacted so much out of character, understandably, that it probably sort of did resonate with her more. But I mean, I don't know how Adam could expect her not to drink.
Yeah, he was like, she's not answering my calls. I think I'll just nip home and check up on her. And what did he think she was going to be doing at home on her own?
Where's she going to go to drink? Because presumably the car is being fixed because it did knock Mick's car. Yes, Mick's went in the river. She won't be allowed to
drive at the moment, surely.
She won't be allowed to. She can't even sit in the car if it's being fixed. Where does she go? Does she then go back home?
I think it's been said a few times, hasn't it? But I think with alcoholism, which I have not had to deal with in any way in my life, is that they'll always find a way. There'll be a way to get a drink. It goes beyond what we can imagine. But yeah, and just the disrespect, I think, being shown to be drinking in a house where a child is, when the parents had asked her that was a condition to then her just drink in the house, knowing that Xander's going to come home.
But I think if Adam had said that before she arrived, she's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
She can't just turn it off.
No, I know.
And it was so well intentioned of him, but it's not really Alice making these. I don't think she's got the capacity to stop. She's just so far deep in this. But yeah, so presumably that was a flop in terms of how you were feeling.
It was
not a fave.
No, it was floptastic. So Alice wallowing. Fallon's miscarriage just being sort of fair game for anyone to talk about in the village. Like, and then I was thinking, I said to David, how does everyone know about this? And he was like, don't you remember Harrison going out and absolutely screaming it out in the road? So I guess people may have picked it up from there, but it seemed like literally everyone was talking about it. So I feel floppy about that as well. Like, yeah, I just don't think that's cool. Another thing I thought was well dealt with, because I'm aware it happens, but was Paul suffering gay slurs whilst playing cricket.
Yeah.
Which is just such a shame. But I mean, I quite liked his reaction, and he was like,
yeah.
I think my...
Yes.
I think... What's the equivalent of goals in cricket? Runs?
Yeah. He did well.
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah.
He's triumphed sportingly rather than...
Let's leave it at that. Yes, exactly.
But another flop I've got related to Paul is that there was a moment where he said, and the quote, sometimes these quotes happen where they're obviously just trying to... Is it called disposition, where they're trying to like set the scene and just fill you in with what's going on? He said, listen to this. I'm just trying to find it. Because of Alice, 6 people could have drowned in the Am, including my mum.
Just in case you'd missed it.
Yeah. So in case anyone hasn't listened for ages and they pick up on that, they're like, what? So that just felt a bit on the nose.
And I think that might have been when he was talking to Tracy about Alice, because Tracy said it's unforgivable. Alice deserves to be locked up. And I thought, she's going to change her tune if she hears George was actually involved in it. Oh my, all these eating of words.
Yeah.
The nonsense of Paul going on about the sheep and the medication, it's so painful. I mean, presumably it's a setup that Jacob is going to be so fed up of feeling guilty about Alice and everything, he's just not going to be willing to carry on the...
No. I thought, Paul, wind your neck in. You've been told by both of your superiors that this is all under control, so just leave it.
And if all it is a missing anti-inflammatory, just put an ibuprofen in the thing and just get on with it. It doesn't... Just move on, everyone. Move on.
I was thinking much the same.
What do you think about Denise being bedridden?
I know.
And does Paul know what's going on, and he's saying all of this to wind Alice up? Until tonight, I thought Paul was clueless about it. But
I think Paul is clueless. I did find it funny, Alistair's change in voice when he found out that the chicken soup that John had made her was actually just as delicious as her mum's. And he was sort of like, sulking about it. I did find that quite funny. But yeah, I mean, I haven't noted a change in Paul in that he's now being like, let's test the waters. Like, I don't... But why is she in bed still? I mean...
Yes, that's been referred to a few times this week. That seems odd. Is she bedridden with guilt? Is she bedridden with sort of PTSD? It can't just be this bug.
It's going round, isn't it, being guilty?
Yes, it's a whole guilt fest. But let's just focus on a more positive. Let's focus on food, can we, please?
That was one of my faves. Philippa, there was 10 mentions of food alone on Sunday's episode.
But can we just thank the scriptwriter this week, Sarah?
I was going to say, was it Sarah?
Sarah, you complete star. Thank you so much.
Right, go through them because I'm going to tick them off because I'm sure I'll have more.
I'll have missed them, yeah.
Okay.
Quiche, ham sandwiches, strawberries and cream, cheese sandwich, crisps, chocolate cake, grated cheese, Bridge Farm ham, Filipino food, cake, counter, shepherd's pie, chicken soup sandwich.
Oh, I've got loads more than that.
Oh, no. How do I do this?
Yeah, so I've got lasagna. Alice was going to make the lasagna.
I always miss them on the day.
I've got ice cream. What was that? Someone was going to have ice cream.
Probably Rosie.
It was Rosie, I think. Fruit, tomato sauce. That was on Rosie's face. And you said sandwich. So yeah, there's a few more things. Do you know what though? It did get me thinking about shepherd's pie because I love shepherd's pie, and it got me thinking I would like a shepherd's pie.
Any other faves? Anything else?
Yeah, so the amount of food mentioned was a fave, but also definitely. I feel like Roy and Lexi being mentioned. I wonder if this is the setting up for the wrapping up of Roy's exit. And I think that would be a lovely way to honour Roy. And I really liked him and Lexi together.
Yeah.
I thought the sort of turnaround from him being a racist to then being very emotionally invested with her, and I really liked her. I was sad to see her go, actually. So I know that if Rory and Lexi get their happy ending, that would be quite nice. What about you for faves?
Well, I loved the cricket match. It was a lovely welcome break. I'm not a fan of cricket, but I was a fan of that cricket match. It was just fun. I liked the fact that they didn't win. It wasn't cheesy. Where was Linda, having got all the votes to be chairman? She suddenly wasn't there. I liked the fact of Rosie with her plaits. I was going to plait my hair tonight, especially in honour, but I didn't get a chance. Now, this boat with the paint on, I'm just perplexed by it, because Pip and Kirsty had to kneel down to see where the paint was scratched. So did they have to hoist the boat out of the water to then paint it? How would the boat have got scratched on top of the water? Surely it was a below. I was perplexed by that
Mariner.
whole thing.
So
Were they having to don scuba gear and go with special underwater incredible paint?
it just felt like a lot of effort to go to just to simply get out of looking after Rex's sheep for a week, pigs for a week, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like to say, oh, I'm going to do this instead when he hadn't even asked you to do it. You'd have to drag me kicking and screaming to go and paint someone's boat. But yeah, I was a bit perplexed. I also wonder what the whole setup was. Like, I thought, are they going to find something in there that's going to be pertaining to the accident? Like, I didn't really know where that was going.
I do wonder if these sort of bits in the car, bits of Mick's car, is going to, if there's going to be more of that. I don't know if, is that why Denise is ill? Has she got some of Mick's car ingested? That they're going to find in an X-ray, a whole gear stick or something.
Oh God, I don't know, but I did find that quite a bit much. I also found a bit much, which is, I don't know if it was a bit much, but Kirsty sort of like pinning Fallon down and giving her the big, I've had a child loss too. And I thought, you can clearly see that Fallon is wanting to leave. Let her leave.
Yes.
Even if what you're doing is the best intentions, she's gagging to get back in there. Just let her go.
Yeah.
And stop trying to pin her down for another sesh.
Yeah. Just because you've got good intentions doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought Chelsea was great, the way she sort of extricated
Chelsea was great.
Fallon from that. The rewilding project, I was very interested to hear Kirsty talking about it and saying how they don't know what they're going to do when they run out of Peggy's money.
I know.
Surely part of being a sustainable project is being able to be
sustain
sustainable financially. What are they doing there? They're spending so many hours a day there and they're not making... So that blew my mind. I just thought that was...
Yeah.
I didn't think much about that. Inspirational women. Rosie learning about inspirational women. I was trying to think, who are the inspirational women in Ambridge? Brave, bold and groundbreaking.
Okay, Fallon. She's being brave and bold, just not lamping everyone this week, I would say. Seemingly it's quite groundbreaking to be a woman who doesn't want to have a child either, so I'll pop her down as groundbreaking for that as well.
Oh dear, well we're running out of time.
Yes.
So who is your star of the week?
Fallon is my star of the week. Just to be still I just feel for her. Like, obviously desperate to be at work, to be away from Harrison, but also not really wanting to be at work because then she's got people like Kirsty turning up, giving her the good chat, and I just think she can be the star of the week to give her something to be excited about this week.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine was Chelsea, because I just thought she was fab with Fallon, getting rid of Kirsty and just being really honest and open. And I thought that was very good.
Yeah.
Predictions.
So I've only really got one prediction, and I'm wondering if George's guilt is going to become a bit too much for him. I think that's where we're going. And I sort of thought, who will he confide in? And I wondered if it would be Chelsea. If he were to confide, because I can sort of see it coming out in a bit of a panic maybe, and maybe him thinking he can trust Chelsea with that.
Yes.
But so I think maybe it's going to become a bit too much for him, maybe a bit sooner than I realised. I thought we'd have this till at least Christmas 2026.
Yeah, I got a sense on Sunday that he was almost about to say something.
It felt like it.
And he didn't. Yeah, I've got a couple of predictions. I'm concerned about the references to how the traffic in and out of the village is still a nightmare. So I'm wondering if the police have found something, because the bridge is still delays going over the bridge. So I'm concerned about that. I put down I predict Alice will drink in Adam and Ian's house. Well, tonight that's happened.
Tick.
I think we might hear Alice get called into the police station soon, because they've got to have those blood test results. It doesn't take that long for them to get the blood test results and charge her. Yes. So that's my other prediction. But that's it. That's it for this week. We've had all sorts happening, and a plethora of food, a plethora of guilt. It's all here. But we have a few announcements to make. I'll be very brief. Our Patreon event, our next live Patreon event, is going to be on the 4th of July at 7:30. There'll be links in the show notes to join us and subscribe on Patreon there. There's no interview coming up this Saturday, but thank you so much for all your support with the brilliant Harrison interview. That's great. Now do click subscribe, because then you will get notifications of when a new video comes up. We'd love to have you subscribing. And we will be back on Tuesday, all four of us. I'll be locked in a hotel room in London. Who knows if I'll have enough Wi-Fi or not. But it'll be all four of us, and just really looking forward to getting all together.
Yeah, me too.
So, it's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.